So today on Scrapping, we're going to work on the steering wheel, see if we can get the horn working. This is on the Volvo 850. Yeah, the horn doesn't work. Doesn't seem to be the steering wheel, but we'll see. Let's take it apart. Alright, so first things first. I believe you need to have the steering wheel on the lock, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so right now I have the lock straight. I'm going to bring you down and I'll show you what I believe needs to be done. Under here there's a bunch of holes. What we got to do is we got to figure out which ones we have to take screws out of because this whole piece pops off. They look like T20s. I see two definitely. And I think this pops apart from the other part. Okay, so there's two more screws that I missed when I did this. They're the other two holes in the bottom, but they aren't the same size as everything else. So, so these ones look like what did I say the first ones were? The first ones are T20. I think these ones are, I'm gonna have to double check. Where did my tool go? Here it is. Let's see, T20. And it's T20 and T15. The front two are T15s, and I didn't have one long enough, so I just modified the screwdriver I have so that way it would fit up in there. So, just to give you an idea, these two in the front, T15s, these two, T20s. So now, I wonder why this wire is all taped up. I want to see what this is. While you're working in here, you should actually have the battery disconnected. I might just pull the airbag fuse. If not, I will. I just want to see what this is. This is a disconnected wire. Well, there's why your horn doesn't work. I bet you this is the horn wire. It's probably be easier if I just took this out. So if you have a tool like this, you can usually pull it apart if you really need to. I need to at the moment. We'll put it back together later. Now I just unscrew it by hand. Alright, so the airbag is free. Be careful. This just yeah, it just pulls out. So there's your airbag on the back. That little cable just pulls straight out. And I'm just going to put that off to the side for the moment because it will be going back. So what I need to figure out is if this connector goes through, and if that's the wire that needs to be reconnected, because I'm wondering if they just disconnected the horn instead of fixing it. I ordered the parts to fix this, so they're coming. I think they're going to be here tomorrow. So, so I am going to just what I'm doing, and I know you can't see it. I am just loosening these and taking them out because this is the part that needs to be repaired. There's little rubber things that go behind here, and I'm sure that's what's wrong with this. Also, the wire is disconnected, but I believe you're just replacing part of this. Well, I see two connectors. These are broken. Two of the connectors are broken, which means they were grounding out. So that's probably part of it. These two connectors are supposed to go through that hole, and I believe they're supposed to be attached. I believe they're supposed to be like these two. This one's got rubber and that one's got rubber. So I don't know if that's part of it, but let's see if there's continuity between these connectors and this wire over here. Well, this is definitely the horn wire. I'm going to fix this wire. A little piece of heat shrink. Put that up out of the way. I don't know why you would go all the way in here to cut a wire when you could just pull a fuse. This car has the wipers on the same fuse. The wipers for the headlights, which are totally unnecessary. So you could have just pulled that fuse and you would have been golden. That just kind of blows my mind, but whatever. It wasn't my car when they did it, so all I'm doing is soldering these two wires back together. I'm not going to do anything pretty, I'm just going to solder them, heat shrink it. Soldering iron. This one's usually pretty good. Let's see what happens. Oh, you're already hot. Yeah, there's a soldering iron. This one seems to be working fine. Remember, heat up the wire, and then put the solder into the wire. You don't want to really put it on the gun. I just put a little bit on there to get the bead flow. So now that that's like that, going to just fold the wire over. It's still hot, that's the only reason why I'm doing it this way. Could have been prettier. Alright, now all I gotta do is heat up the shrink wrap, heat shrink, and we should be good to go. So it's another day, and this is the kit to repair this. I've already started to take some of this apart. So basically, I'll let you see this directions, and I'll show you this in a second. But you basically just clip off the old one and leave the little wire with the circle part on it, and you put it back together with the screw in place of it, and at the end it looks like that. So really simple. I did 3 out of the 4 because I was going to show you guys the 4th one. Hoping you can see. So I'll pull this out as far as I can. That's about as far as I can. So they all come with this plastic on it. You just break it off. It's super brittle. Also very greasy. Once you do that, you'll see it's got this little piece on it. All you do is you don't want to cut the this part. You want to keep it more, so you just cut it like this, and you're left with the actual piece of, I guess, copper. Looks like copper. And then you have the little piece still stuck in here, so you just gotta push that out. If you squeeze on it a little bit, it usually just pops out. Just don't cut the thing. There you go. So now it popped out. Alright, so what you do next, I'm just gonna route this back through because this was here. What you do next is, just want to look at how they have. This doesn't really matter how you have it at the end as long as it's in. So all you do, these are your screws, which are little tiny Allen heads. Take this, break it off, and you put it in the hole. Push down. So do that in all 4 places. Just gonna pull this out of the way. They just pop in, and the screw, I'm assuming, pushes it out a little bit so it can't pop back out. Not that I think you'd have to really worry about that, but it could set off the alarm if it pops back out. Sorry, my arm keeps getting in the way. So for the Allen wrench size, key size, whatever you want to call them, it is a 1/16. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this through the eyelet. So I can get a good view. And you just screw this down. This little screw right here becomes the new contact point. So all you're doing is screwing it down to lock it into place. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend this down a little bit so it doesn't get in the way. It's going to be a little tighter doing the top one, so. My vote with this is to take the wire out of here, and this won't be as tight. I'm going to leave it because I don't want it in the way of anything, and I don't think it's going to hurt anything doing it this way. So, I'm just going to continue on. Hopefully you can see all this. So, there's your 4 contacts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these just touch. These little points right here touch. So make sure you get all your little pieces of plastic out of there so it doesn't get in the way. I need to put this back. Make sure when you put these back on, you line the bolt up. So now you gotta take these and put them back through. Now what I'm going to do before I totally complete this is I'm going to check to see if there's any shorts. So I'm just going to put it all back together first. And by all back together, I mean just these 4 bolts, and then we'll test this out. Turn it on. Check for. Let's take this back out. Actually, I have to do this. Okay, so when you push the horn down, this looks to be working properly, on this side at least. So there's no connection, and then when you push it down, there's a connection. Alright, so that's working right. It's back out of the way. Hopefully you can see all that. Okay, so get everything back out of the way. Put your wires back where they were. And just remember, this thing says Attention airbag unit assembly, always tighten the right hand screw first, important for horn function. So make sure you follow that. And I just want to give you another heads up as to the size of these. These are T30s. These two are T30s and these two are T30s. And I believe the ones that come back through are T30s, so we'll figure that out again in a minute. It's another day, because I didn't have the parts when I did this the first time. So, and also I had the other day, it's a little off, but I plastic welded this back on because I snapped this off while I was when I was taking it apart. So just be aware, you can just use a soldering iron. They make plastic welders, they're basically just a soldering iron. If you use the soldering iron, make sure you clean the tip really good afterwards, but you can use the soldering iron to melt the plastic back on. So I don't have to get a new one of these because this is like that. However, this thing has 2 clips here that are broken, which I don't think matter for anything. Just a reminder, because we're messing with the airbag system, the battery is unplugged. The airbag is simple. You just plug this guy back in, ta-da, and then it's all set. And then, like I said, it's just to tighten the right hand screw first, so we will do that. A little bit of grease here. What I did is I unhooked the the horns, even though the battery's unhooked. I did that because people are asleep in my house, so don't want to wake anybody up. If I accidentally push on the horn, because I think it's going to be pretty easy to push on the horn. So you can see. Just tighten this up. And then we will do the top one. These were pretty tight. I'm going to give them a little, just a hair more than what I can do by hand. Well, it feels pretty good right now, so let me check to see if this is working. And like I said, people are asleep, so I am going to have to do this by checking the voltage. Okay, so I have that hooked up to the horn, and I'm pushing the horn now. My battery's a little low, that's why it says 11.7, but looks like it's working great. So for now, I'm leaving it disconnected because I don't want to wake anybody up. But that's that. Alright, so I'm going to have to move that in a few minutes, I'm sure, but at least to get this started. Oh, this thing goes like this. So this cover has another piece that just pops on the top. So this sits somewhat like this. I'm going to do slide in the rubber. And I have my whole telescopic, I should say, steering wheel pulled all the way out, so I have room to work. And basically just push this stuff together. The bottom one just slides up, and the top one slides down, so. That's the gist of that. You just gotta get it over that, and that basically goes into the position it's supposed to be in. And you can lock your steering wheel so it doesn't go anywhere. And then now, this one can go on. Make sure you line up your rubber bushings. You can see I pried on it a little bit there, so. Something I'm just gonna have to touch it after the fact, which is easy. I'll never be able to even put these in. It's kind of a pain in the butt because you got to get these to line up. Feels like it's pretty close. That's not easy. It's the top ones that are going to be more of a pain, I think. Because these two just hold this to the steering column, and the other two hold it to the top piece. That's why they're kind of important. Now if I can get these ones in. Remember I had to modify. The screws are so far up. It's hard to get on the thing if you fall off. Alright, so one is in, and then this is the side that I broke, so cross your fingers, this goes in easy. Alright, so that's that. Get the whole thing back together. Got a nice new horn. It all works. So, the car is back to life, so to speak.